Welcome to the Real Film Nerds Podcast.
Welcome, listeners, one and all one and all of you. Yes, that works. To Real Film Nerds Podcast, episode number 247. This is what we like to call a tributary, aka a film that is mostly intended for streaming. We chat about the Netflix original Red Notice, starring a lot of people that Mike will get into in a little bit. Mike, welcome. How are you, sir? I see you have pants on and no shirt. I love the man boobs.
Yeah. Thanks, Matt. Everything's good. Ready to talk about Red Notice. And, yeah.
Okay, Mike, go ahead. Do it. Give us the rundown for Red Notice. Not my all-time favorite film, Red Dawn, but Red Notice.
Okay, Red Dawn is your all-time favorite. All right. Well,
it's not. I'm just making a joke.
All right. On that bombshell, this movie was directed and written by Ross and Marshall Thurber. It's starring Dwayne Johnson, Ryan Reynolds, Gal Gadot, Rita Areu. And this movie is about an Interpol agent tracks the world's most wanted art thief. I like that synopsis. It's one sentence.
I don't think it describes the film very well, though, but sure.
No. If you want a real description of the movie, I would say it is a cross between a spy movie and Indiana Jones or National Treasure. That's the better.
Yeah, but I don't think you can say that in the IMDb movie database description.
Yeah, that's probably true, man. Probably true.
Just guessing, though. So, okay, Mike, let's just roll right into it. What are your first initial impressions of Red Notice?
I think this is a late fall, summer popcorn flick. It's nothing special, but it's kind of a fun ride.
I think that's an adequate description. It is definitely something that I would consider a blockbuster because of all the action and the craziness and the hijinks and the three main stars of the film. There's not really anyone else of note in the rest of the film. It's pretty much these three, and everyone else, I don't know if I've ever seen any of them before, including the Interpol actress.
I think I saw her in something else. She seemed familiar.
It doesn't ring a bell to me, but maybe. I don't know. Here, I'm going to click on her name on the IMDb's, and we'll see. So, Red Notice, Umbrella Academy. Okay, so she was in Umbrella Academy.
That's what it is, dude. That's 100% what it is.
Yeah. And she was in the other Netflix original film, Last Christmas, which I've never seen.
Oh, that looks right up your alley, Matt. Why haven't you seen that? You love the romantic movies. Didn't you get the Hallmark Channel just to watch all the Christmas movies in July?
No, but I will say I do love dragon boobs.
Ah, yes. Okay. All right. I understand. Yeah, it's been a long time since we brought her up, but yep. Dragon boobs.
Yeah, she needs to get back out there. We need some more dragon and we need some more boobs, definitely.
Well, I mean, I'm sure she's just relaxing in all that Game of Thrones money.
Dude, if I was rolling in the dough like she was, yeah, why not? Why ever work again? Although Kit Harington, as we found out from last week, he's back to work.
Yep, and he still knows nothing.
He still knows nothing. It's terrible, Mike. That's absolutely terrible. So I have to say, this is a fun movie. It could have been better. It could have been a lot worse. But overall, it was entertaining. I'm not going to say it was a good movie, but I was entertained throughout most of it. It is definitely, how do you like to put it, Mike? When you have to turn on the I believe button or whatever the hell you say. I forget what you say.
Oh, yeah. I guess just I believe. You just got to believe the ridiculousness. So you just got to go for the ride, Like, there are several movies where it's just like, like F9 or F8 or a lot of the Fast and Furious, when cars are jumping from skyscraper to skyscraper in Dubai. You just got to be like, yep, I believe that can happen, and yep, they did that.
So that's totally what a lot of this film is, especially as we rocket towards the end of it. It's definitely, I don't know, we need to figure this out. Are we going to call it an I believe button? Do we hit the I believe button, Mike? I think that sounds good.
Yeah, I think that's what we call it, man. I think we do hit the I believe button. It is one of those movies, man. You just got to roll with it.
We'll get into that later on in the spoiler section, but there's a lot of hitting of the I believe button. One thing of note that I thought, I don't know your feelings on this, but I really feel like Ryan Reynolds just phoned this one in bad. Like, he's your typical Ryan Reynolds, but it just seems like his heart is not in it. He's just kind of there collecting a paycheck, where when you look at Gal Gadot, yeah, I'm going there. And Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, they're on par. Like, they're as good as they ever are in most of the action films they do, like Wonder Woman and F9 and, a bajillion movies that The Rock has done.
Yeah, with The Rock, man, there's so many movies, man. The other day, The Other Guys was on.
I love that movie. That movie's so funny.
I love that movie too. I love that he was in a movie where he basically is killed off right away. I loved it.
One I was going to say that Red Notice relates a lot to. I'll try and do it without spoiling, but it reminds me a whole lot of the Rundown with Sean William Scott.
Oh, yeah, man. The Rundown was great. I feel like that was one of The Rock's first big-time starring roles. And then, after that, man, the guy's had so many movies and stuff. What is he on, like his 6th movie this year? I don't even know. We had, like, The Jungle Cruise. We had this movie. What else do we have? He's in, like, so much stuff it's hard to keep track of.
Yeah, dude, he's definitely really, really in demand. And you have to admit, he is a pretty dang good actor. I mean, he's not going to be winning an Academy Award anytime soon, because those are not really the roles he does. But what he does, action films and comedy action films and action films, he does well. He really does. He's very believable.
Yeah, man, he's in so many movies. It's amazing that he has a chance to do all this stuff. Like, he's just, I don't know. He's so busy. I mean, I don't know how he has time to, like, do anything else. I mean, I know movies only take, granted, 2 to 3 months, depending. But, I mean, he always does action movies, so it's going to be a little bit longer. There's some stunts involved and stuff like that. But, man, the guy's busy.
One thing I have to say that I've noticed is he definitely seems like he's starting to show his age a little bit. And not so much, like, physically. I mean, I guess, yes, physically, but not in his stunts and everything. It's more of, like, in his face. You're really starting to see more and more, like, wrinkles in his face. And I think it's just from years of, smiling and, doing what do you smell what The Rock is cooking and things. But he's starting to get some really, like, defined wrinkles. Now, granted, he doesn't look old because he has a shaved head, but he's definitely, I notice it in this film that he definitely comes off that he's not a young spring chicken anymore,
Yeah. I mean, I can agree with that, man. He's definitely getting some wear and tear, but the guy is just so busy. It's amazing. I don't know how he keeps his schedule.
So, what do you think he's going to do with his money? Do you think he's going to go to space?
No, man, he's running for president. I just don't know when.
Oh, dude, that would be so awesome. It would totally be Idiocracy if The Rock ran and got elected.
I think he will run at some point. I just don't know when,
And he'll probably get elected.
Yeah, could you imagine? They're like, oh, we can't play movies because it's a movie starring him, and then all the channels go out of business.
No, how awesome would it be that we just have a network television channel just called President, and it's nothing but The Rock's movies back to back to back and his wrestling days? How awesome would that be?
That'd be funny.
I'd subscribe. I'd pay the $17 a month like all the other gajillion streaming services out there.
Yeah. What's one more, right? Let's add it to the pile.
It's dude, we talk about it. We've talked about it several times in the past, but it's absolutely ridiculous that we gave up cable TV and now we're paying more than cable ever was for the same stuff. It's absolutely insane.
I mean, the people predicted this would happen, and sure enough, it's happened.
Oh, that makes me take another drink.
Well, on that note, Matt, let me ask, what are you drinking this fine morning, afternoon, evening?
Well, Mike, let me swallow it down. I am drinking not one of my favorite beers, but it was on sale. Dos Equis Lager, not amber. I got the green bottle for once.
Oh, okay. All right, Matt. I know we have shared a few of those through our lifetime. And for me, today I am drinking another pumpkin beer. I'm still running through the pumpkins, but we're starting to run low. I'm drinking the Night Owl pumpkin beer or pumpkin ale from Elysian.
Yeah.
Elysian.
Well, yes, Mike, we have drank several green bottled Dos Equis on beaches, in bars, on nightclubs, several places throughout our time. Now, I'm not going to say Dos Equis is a bad beer. It's not. It's decent. I'll choose a green bottled Dos Equis all day long over a Corona or just about anything else, Mexican beer-wise. But, I just prefer the amber. I'm more of the dark beer kind of person. So, anyways, all right, Mike. So that now means we are into the next segment of the Real Film Nerds podcast, the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So, Mike, did you find it? Did you figure it out? How Red Notice relates to the Marvel Cinematic Universe?
So I didn't want to use Ryan Reynolds' Deadpool because it's kind of a gray area when it comes to the cinematic universe. I know he's kind of in it now, but it's kind of through purchasing. So anyway, I went ahead and I went with a more solid tie-in, and that was the production designer, Andy Nicholson. He's worked on Captain America, the First Avenger, and Captain Marvel.
Good job, Mike. The streak continues. I mean, honestly, I don't know why people don't listen to our podcast just to find out how the hell we do this. Maybe one day we'll get more. I don't know.
Well, Matt, I mean, with the amount of Marvel stuff coming out, I mean, Disney just had their Disney Plus Day, which was kind of weird, I guess. I didn't really get caught up in it, partly because I was working and just been overall busy. But they announced all kinds of things.
Yeah, they did. They announced a whole slew of shows and movies and things, and I didn't really pay attention because, much like you, I work all the time. Granted, I am not taking care of two weird small aliens that came out of my wife's body, but I'm still, very, very busy without them. And so I didn't get to pay attention. I saw some things that I'm excited for, like the X-Men 97 TV show. That looks like that's going to be awesome.
Yeah, so they're extending that, right? Like, I mean, they already have it on Disney Plus right now, like what was originally created, but they're just going to keep going with that storyline, right? And just keep making new episodes?
I think it's something like that, yeah. I think they're just going to, it's either that or they're going to reboot it. I don't remember exactly. I haven't dived too far into it, but I'm a big fan of the X-Men, especially the 90s X-Men. It's a lot of fun. I grew up with that stuff. I love that stuff.
Yeah, that was fun. I remember watching it too, man. It was great.
And the video games and everything else, so. But, okay, so Mike, not to get too off topic, we are now in our spoiler section for the podcast. So if you have not seen Red Notice, you don't want it spoiled, go ahead, hit mute, or just go ahead and listen to another podcast. Hopefully, maybe one of our friends like Retro Rogues Live. They're a great podcast if you're into nerd stuff. Anyways, I'm just promoting there. Mike, go ahead. Let's spoil Red Notice.
Man, I don't know if I want to spoil too much in this, but I did like this movie. Like I've said earlier, it was a lot of fun. There's a couple things that I will say about it. There's some homages to a couple big time movies, and one of them was Indiana Jones, and I loved it so much. There's a scene with Ryan Reynolds where he's humming the Indiana Jones theme song, and I really like that. And then there's also a scene with The Rock where he's fighting, and when he hits people, it sounds like it does in Indiana Jones. It's the same sound. I was loving it. Like, I thought it was funny. I don't know if people would catch the punch as much as the theme song, but I thought it was fun, man. I feel like they didn't take themselves too seriously, and it seemed like the cast had a fun time doing this.
I don't know, man. I still feel like Ryan Reynolds phoned it in. I really don't feel like he was trying very hard. It just seems like he's just kind of there. I don't know. I'm sorry.
I thought his character was fine. I think he was just the character. I don't know. Like, he seemed fine. I don't know. He just kind of seemed like his Ryan Reynolds kind of self, I guess. You know, quick witted. Just, I guess you could have said he was phoning it in, but I don't know. I liked it.
It was no Free Guy. It was no Free Guy, Mike.
No, it was not Free Guy. You love that movie, though. That's going to go down as your number one movie this year, I think.
It's up there, yeah, probably. Another part that definitely feels very Indiana Jones is the... and again, this is where you have to hit that I believe button, and this is one of the issues I have with the movie, but still, I'll hit that I believe button just for you, Mike, but not in my rating. How's that? Ha!
All right, dude, you go for it, man. I just had to believe.
The Nazi stuff was very Indiana Jones-like, especially the treasure and going into this, spiral staircase that's in the middle of Argentina. They followed, no one has been in this place for 60, 70 years, right? But they magically find it, and it's not that far down below on Earth. Of course, there's no 6 inches of dirt covering. I'll just stop. But it just gets so much worse at that point. Like, you go down there and there's just stuff everywhere. Fine, I get it. And it's very cool, and it's very Indiana Jones. Like, they're all wood crates. It's all Nazi symbols. And then they get in a car and they're driving through this giant tunnel. Giant. Underground for God knows how long. I mean,
you're right. It is a long time.
That reminded me so much of the minecart from Temple of Doom. Like, zipping through that tunnel, but I'm just like, this is absolutely ridiculous. This has been here for 70 years unnoticed. There's nothing else in the way. There's no creatures moved in. It's a cleared tunnel. It just, I don't know, dude. I was having a hard time believing on that one, but it was fun. I still liked it because it was definitely Indiana Jones.
Yeah, I think a lot earlier on in the movie, that's getting towards the end, Matt, but earlier on, I just realized, okay, this is going to be that kind of movie. I think it was really when kind of the opening scene, Matt, with The Rock and Ryan Reynolds at the museum. And you kind of go through this kind of almost dance kind of type, thief and robber or whatever kind of thing. And I'm like, okay, so this is going to be that kind of movie. Because there was a bunch of stuff that, like, pretty much never could happen. You couldn't get through all that stuff. And, so I just hit that button early and just kept on for the ride and enjoyed it quite a bit.
Mike, what the hell was that in that kid's Coke to melt a 3D printed thing like that?
I don't know, man. I guess I feel like that was almost like a don't drink soda, kids, like, kind of thing, but like without saying it.
I mean, if I was Pepsi, I would be capitalizing on that shit. Be like, hey, look, our cola doesn't melt golden eggs.
Right.
That's what I would
Definitely.
be doing.
Oh, one part that, so I mean, we're in the spoiler section, man.
Yes,
One
we
part
are.
that cracked me up quite a bit was, the whole movie, there's this huge build up to get these 3 eggs for this wedding to get paid a bunch of money.
I know where you're going. Yeah.
And then, so they get it, and there's the big reveal, and they're, all excited or whatever. But then Ed Sheeran comes on to sing at the wedding, and like the bride could care less about these 3 eggs. I thought that was awesome.
Oh, it was hilarious. And they're pointing out how they haven't been reunited in like 2 millennia and all this stuff. And it's just historic stuff. And she's like, oh my God, it's Ed Sheeran. And she takes off. That's hilarious. So funny.
That was really funny. And then I liked Ed Sheeran making fun of himself. I was on Game of Thrones. You can't arrest me.
Yeah, when Interpol was trying to arrest him. Yeah.
That was funny. I don't know. It was just stupid, but it was funny.
Okay, I have to say one of my favorite parts. It's early on, so that we're in anticipation of getting this kick-ass car chase. Right? Ryan Reynolds takes off, steals some dude's moped, and just puts away. The Rock climbs in one of the sweetest Porsches on Earth, hits the start button, fires it up. You're just like, fuck yeah, man, it's on. This is going to be awesome. And he just gets slammed into. He's not even out of the damn parking lot. And a VW bus slams into this sweet Porsche. I lost it. I thought that was just one of the funniest parts of this whole movie. It was so good.
Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of aspects to the movie that were fun. Like, I think Gal Gadot just loved her character, just kind of being this person. I mean, she just shows up all the time. You're like, how the heck she get in there? But hey, it's cool. Remember, I believe.
Dude, okay, we'll go back to the Indiana Jones start of the Nazi bunker. So it took them forever to find it. And then all of a sudden, Gal Gadot shows up. And then Interpol shows up with all their troops just out of nowhere. They didn't come down the stairwell. I guarantee you that shit. They did not come down the spiral staircase. Where the F were they hiding? How did they get there? It's just...
Matt, remember the button. Hit the button. Hit the button.
It's getting big, Mike. That's a damn big button.
Well, man, it's an easy button. You hit it, and it's just everything's a lot easier after you hit it.
Only if that's how it was in life, Mike.
Oh, jeez. I've been looking for that easy button for a long time, man. I can't find it, but I'll let you know when I do.
Okay.
I can sell it to you.
Yeah, dude, you're going to make a mint if you get one. A mint. And then some. Then if you find that, then you have to take me to the moon with you. Because, I mean, you'll have enough money to go to the moon. You'll make Musk and Bezos look like, nothing. If you get, the easy button for everybody.
Okay. All right. I'll try. But this movie was, I had fun with it, man. The best way for me to describe it is like a National Treasure spy Indiana Jones movie. That's just a popcorn movie, Like it's nothing too fun, like crazy. It was just fun. It was nice to see that on this movie. I wasn't sure what I was getting with this, man. I just kind of picked this because I saw it was coming out on Netflix, and I think this will do really well on Netflix. A lot of people I think this will appeal to because it just kind of has a wide appeal, It's kind of got that just fun, Yeah,
it's not a thinking man's movie. It's a popcorn flick. It's a blockbuster kind of style movie. Clearly, we're probably going to be getting a sequel, as the end teases heavily. I like that they're dealing with the art world. I like that they're dealing with artifacts, but it's definitely a mashup of a lot of different kind of style films, and they're not, being around the bush. They're admitting that they're inspired by a lot of these other films to make this one. The Nazi stuff, the art galleries, the action scenes. It's a whole lot of different films kind of, that this was inspired by. It kind of mashed together, and I think they did okay. I'm not going to say they did great, But I think Rawson Marshall Thurber did okay. It was entertainment. I'm not going to say it was great. I probably wouldn't rush out to go see it in a movie theater. But as far as a Netflix movie, it's definitely probably one of their better ones. I'll give it that. How's that?
All right, man. That was very positive of you. So now, with your positiveness out, let's get the negative. Matt, how many reels do you rate this movie?
Here comes the negative, Mike. It's not too bad. It's 2 weeks in a row, though, that I give out a 2.5.
Wow. Okay. All right. That's, yeah. I'm going to go ahead and give this one a 3.5 because I just had a fun time. So I hit the button early and enjoyed it.
I guess my I believe button is not as big or as fruitful as yours, Mike. I am sorry.
I don't know. It's not always there, man. There's sometimes when I watch movies and I just have a real hard time believing. I mean, with some of these latest Fast and Furious movies like F8 and F9, I've had a real hard time with a couple of the things they've done. Like the last movie, there's some space scenes that I just was like, no.
Dude, those were the best. Absolute best, Mike. Come on. They launched a Fiero into space. It was amazing.
Right. Yeah.
So, all right, I guess I'm the harsh one on this one, but, like I said, I didn't hate it. It just, I don't know, it was way too much I had to believe kind of stuff, and I still feel like Ryan Reynolds was just collecting a check. I think he did okay. Maybe I'm starting to get burned out on Ryan Reynolds being Ryan Reynolds and everything. I don't know.
Well,
I hope not.
Let's see. How many movies is that this year he's been in? We got Free Guy.
Mm-hmm.
We got The Hitman's Bodyguard's wife. Or wait, what is it? The wife's...
Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard.
Yeah.
Red Notice.
Does he have anything else coming out? He might. I mean, I know there was the pandemic, so like some of this stuff might have... Well, for sure, Free Guy was supposed to come out last year.
Yeah, that was supposed to be out a while ago.
And I think Hitman's Bodyguard was as well. So maybe it's not as big of a backlog, but man, he's got a lot of stuff that's come out.
Yeah. So in 2021, it was Hitman, Wife's Bodyguard. There's that Deadpool commercial I was telling you about. Free Guy. There's an animated series. Jimmy Kimmel Live. I mean, that really doesn't count as a TV show. Red Notice, and then everything else is 2022. So.
Okay. All right.
But still, that's 3 solid films in 1 year.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson level right there.
Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe that's what it is. I mean, I love Ryan Reynolds, especially as Deadpool, especially as Free Guy. Maybe it's just he's being himself a little bit too much this year, and I'm just kind of burned out on it. I don't know. I hope not. We'll see. So, speaking of new films, Mike, what is your pick for next week?
Oh man, Matt, you know what I'm going for. So I'm cautiously optimistic for this one, and this is the Ghostbusters Afterlife.
Mike, I'm also cautiously optimistic. I think it's going to be fun. It has an okay cast. We've got the kid from Stranger Things. We got Sigourney Weaver's making an appearance. Dan Aykroyd, Bill Murray, Ernie Hudson are all making appearances. But Paul Rudd is in it. So, Paul Rudd is a main character. That should be okay. I don't know. I don't know, man. I'm holding out high hopes for it. It's done by Jason Reitman. That is Ivan Reitman's son. He wrote and directed it. Ivan Reitman is the one that did the original Ghostbusters. So hopefully he does it right. I don't know. We'll see, Mike.
Yeah, it's a little disappointing that Ivan Reitman has passed away, because it would have been good to see kind of him make a cameo at least, or maybe be involved with it. But it's okay. We will see what we get.
Yep, and I believe it's only in theaters, isn't it?
Yes, they have made that very clear. It's only in theaters.
So I'll have to clear my schedule and go to the movie theater, probably late on Thursday or Friday night again. So we'll see. We'll find out. But, make sure and hit us up next week, and where we chat about that one. Oh,
yeah.
Side note, there is no radio this week. My radio hostess, I guess, who I pop on with every week, is on vacation in Canada, of all places. So no radio after this pod. When the pod's over, it's over. Woo!
Woo! All right, man. Our listeners will have to wait till next week to hear Ma Hinshaw. And I guess you.
Yeah. And what'll be exciting is she'll be in studio next week. It'll be the first time she'll actually be in studio because she's here visiting me. My nephew is having his big senior recital on the 19th, 20th, I think. Whatever that Saturday is, 20th. So that'll be fun. She'll be around to be in studio in person, and we'll see what Lisa thinks. It'll be cool.
All right. Well, cool, man. So I guess with that, we'll go ahead and let everybody go. Thanks for listening, everybody. Make sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and go out there and stream a movie, watch a movie in the theaters, and catch us next week for our review of Ghostbusters Afterlife.
Thank you for listening to The Real Film Nerds. Now don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Real Film Nerds. Now go out and catch a movie.